Hey students, hey parents, hello to whoever is watching this video. What I'm doing right now in this video is walking through the FUGE Camp info packet. You can find that info packet online at kaiokestudents.org/events, or you can pick it up in Building D. If you're wondering what it looks like, it looks just like this. I'm not going to talk about everything that's in this packet. I'm just going to talk through some of the main highlights so that you're fully aware of what is going on. If you've never been to FUGE, I highly encourage you to come with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to look a little bit different this year, though, than what they usually do, just because of COVID and everything. But we're used to the swing of how we deal with that. But anyways, the FUGE this year costs $304. I honestly don't know why it's that specific number. That's just what FUGE has put out. But FUGE costs $304 per participant. And the deposit that we need for FUGE is $60 per participant. The deposit and registration deadline is Sunday, April 18th, and then the final balances for FUGE are due on Wednesday, May 26th. So I think that might be your last day of school. So that might be a good way to remember it. Hey, I need to pay my balance. It's the last day of school. I didn't say it earlier, but I should have. FUGE is June 14th through the 19th at North Greenville University. It's only like 2.5 hours away. Should be a real easy ride. It's not far at all. It's a really good sought after camp location. Some quick stuff. What to bring? Obviously, you need a Bible. I mean, we're going to church camp. Gotta need a Bible for that. All right. Sleeping bag, blanket, pillow, twin size linens are optional. Just to save yourself some stress, I would recommend just bringing a sleeping bag. It's just way easier to deal with. You need a great attitude. You need a water bottle that you can carry and refill with you because it's the summer, it's July, it's going to be hot. I would recommend bringing a water bottle with you. All right, you need closed-toe, close-heeled shoes for outdoor activities. You can bring chacos and stuff like that, but I would expect you to have like tennis shoes when you're out playing games because you'll just be able to run around better in those than chacos, and you don't want people stepping all over you if something happens. All right, sun protection. Like I said earlier, it's hot. It's July. It's gonna be sunny. If you're as pale as I am, you're gonna fry like chicken. Okay, I recommend getting some sunscreen, get a hat, bring some kind of sun protection with you. All right, you're also gonna need some spending money for snacks, for the camp store, and for the missions offering that they have at FUGE. You're also going to need some travel money for food, but that's just 2 meals and snacks. We'll get lunch going to FUGE, lunch coming back, and you might want some snack money as well while we're traveling. Summer clothing, obviously you're going to need that. You need clothes to wear. There is a dress code that FUGE has, but we'll talk more about that later in this packet. Nothing too crazy. You guys have done stuff like it before. No big deal. One thing that I do want to make mention of specifically on what to bring is your favorite sports team or athletic attire. They do something called Mega Relay. So your group that you're in that week, you're going to be doing this humongous relay race with your group, and they always have a theme each year, so that's why they encourage you to bring that. Make sure it's something that can get dirty. I would imagine you guys are going to get pretty dirty doing Mega Relay. 1 to 3 face coverings required by FUGE for all participants and staff. So they recommend you bring 1 to 3 face coverings, and they actually recommend you bring 1 to 3 face coverings per day. Personally, I think that's a little bit much, but you can do what you want to. I would definitely at least bring 1 to 3 face coverings a day because FUGE does require masks for everybody that is there. And they do have some specifics about wearing masks, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Basically, why they recommend that much is because I would imagine if something gets wet, like if you're playing a water game or something, you may want to replace that face mask. Or if you get sweaty enough and it starts stinking, you may want to have a backup face mask. And we'll bring some too, but I highly recommend you bring your own as well. What not to bring, pretty typical stuff. Any clothes that promote drugs, alcohol, or other unacceptable promotions, alcohol, tobacco, bad stuff, don't bring any of that. Something I do want to point out, this is not my rule, this is a FUGE rule. Items that may be used for pranks, such as water balloon, shaving cream, silly string, yada, yada, yada. Prank items are not allowed at FUGE. And that's just because that's their policy, it's not our policy, because we can be charged for any damages that are caused or any kind of cleanup stuff that may have a cost attached with it. We'll be responsible for that. So don't bring prank items. That's a FUGE rule. All right. Just want to call your attention to a few things. Notarized forms. They're going to need more than usual than what we would usually do. It's the same thing we did at Winter Retreat. You're going to need a Coyote release form, and you're also going to need a FUGE participant form, which is something that they need on their end for their own release. And it's just like what TVR recommended that we do. We have the same thing. It's just 2 different forms. You got to notarize them. I can notarize them for you during church hours or Sunday school or at midweek, whatever. But you got to get those forms notarized. If you are an adult, you will need a FUGE participant form notarized, but not a Coyote release form. If you look on our website on the events page, coyotestudents.org/events, and go down to the bottom, it should say on there specifically adults what forms you need and students what forms you need. Try to make that as simple as possible for everybody because it can be confusing at times. Every participant is also going to need a Coyote COVID release form just for our documentation and just so that we have it on file. We've been doing that for the whole year though. Trying to think what else I have on here that's relevant and I don't need to waste time on. Something that we're going to go through when we leave for FUGE is filling out a health questionnaire. If you went to Winter Retreat with us, we did the exact same thing. Basically, all it is just saying in the past 2 weeks and in the past 24 hours, have you had any of these symptoms? Have you been in contact with anybody that has COVID-19 and that kind of stuff? It's something we have to do the day of when we leave. But again, it's nothing super hard. So when you're checking in and making sure you're good to go, we'll have you fill out that form as well. So you don't have to worry about filling that one out right now. Like I said earlier, face coverings are required by FUGE, and they specifically say this: they need to be worn at all times indoors, excluding personal rooms like where you sleep or the bathroom, stuff like that. So you don't have to wear them in those places. But they do require them to be worn at all times indoors and while outdoors if you're not socially distanced. So there's some wiggle room with face coverings at FUGE. And just some other stuff, we'll depart from Coyote at 10 a.m. on Monday, June 14th. It'll take us about the drive is 2.5 to 3 hours, but we'll stop and eat lunch, so it'll take us about 4 hours total to get there. And we'll get there in the afternoon, start off everything at FUGE, and then we're going to leave Saturday from FUGE probably around like noon, and then we'll come get lunch in South Carolina somewhere, and then we should be back at Coyote around 4 o'clock. As long as we don't have a bus breakdown again. Rest in peace. But we will hopefully not have that problem. If you look at this, there is a camp schedule. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. If you've ever been to a summer camp, or at least a church camp, it's kind of the same thing that we have all the time. You wake up, eat breakfast. There's usually a Bible study and a worship session in the morning. I think the way they're doing it, though, at FUGE is to not have us so congregated in one area. I think they're flipping people a little bit with some rotations, and they'll walk us through all that, and we'll keep you informed of all that as well as it comes up. Each afternoon, you guys are going to have the opportunity to do different tracks, and what that is just different activities for you to sign up for in the afternoon. I'm going to read it off a few really quick. You can do crafts, you can do mountain biking, basketball, something called battle ball, active track like soccer or volleyball. There's frisbee, disc golf, gaga ball, spike ball, water games. There's good to have some spiritual stuff. Stuff like defending what you believe, how to grow your faith. Then there's some other stuff like leadership 101. There's a whole list on here that you can look at. And how that's going to work, you're going to sign up for your track when we arrive at FUGE. So while I'm checking y'all in, there's going to be some staff members there to lead you in how to sign up for your track. They'll have you pick like your top 5, and then they'll give you your top 2 after, or they'll go based off of what your top 5 picks are, and they'll give you something for that week, something from that for that week. That's how ministry tracks work. It's real easy, it's real simple, and the best part is they take care of it, and I guess you get to check y'all in and hang out with y'all the whole time. It's not a whole bunch of headache on my end. Dress code, last thing I'll talk about. It's pretty basic stuff, and they've even gotten more lax on it over the years. Some simple stuff like wear modest shorts, the fingertip rule, stuff like that. Sleeveless shirts and tank tops are allowed during daytime activities, but shirts with spaghetti straps or open backs or excessive armpit cutouts, I don't see the appeal of that anyway, but those are not allowed, stuff like that. And large t-shirts that cover shorts should not be worn as well. So don't wear anything like that. Again, I already mentioned that stuff about the shoes. Just you can have some Chacos with you, but don't have those on during like rec time and intense activities where you can be stepped on. That's just not fun. Other things, do not dress in a way that calls attention to your underwear, like sagging pants or rolling down your waistbands on your shorts or whatever. Just just read this. You know when you see it. Just our goal is to dress as modest as possible because modest is hottest. Okay, that's all the info I have for you. Again, I'll just reiterate that the FUGE cost is $304, 3304, and the deposit is $60. You need to sign up and have your deposit turned in by Sunday, April 18th, and then you need to have your final balance paid off by Wednesday, May 26th. And if you need some help with that, we got some scholarships available, and we can talk about how to, alleviate some of that scholarship money for your cost if we need to do that. But just get in touch with us, and we'll take care of those needs as well. Feel free to comment below or reply to this with any kind of question that you have. Send me an email, jack@kyoki.org. You can text me if you have my number. I'm glad to answer any question that I can about FUGE. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.